one thing, that, and I think we saw that last year too. Florida State was helped by Carolina, man. That they're undisciplined. I think they had 13 penalties. I forget the exact number, but I know at one point it flashed up they had 11 for 125 yards. Also, did FSU some favors with dropping balls, missing plays, and that happened last year in Tallahassee too, especially in the second half when they were trying to mount a comeback. They just couldn't get their rhythm, and some of that was on Carolina's inability to be efficient and make the play. And but that's part of the game. And I know some people were talking about that on Twitter as a reason why that the defense was playing well, but that's part of the game. That's all encompassing in the game, and Florida State was able to take advantage of those missed plays by getting them off the field.
The final tally was 12 penalties for North Carolina and 5 for Florida State. So if you're keeping track, that's 4, 3, and 5 the last 3 games. So for all those that want to question and say penalties are coaching, are y'all willing to admit that now that we're not having penalties regularly, that it's coaching? Maybe I don't know.
I think it's a great call having the refs at practice now. That's when it's changed.
Yep.
So, Kyle coming in big. I like that, Kyle.
There we go.
Here you go. Man, I like that, Kyle, man. You can hurt my feelings whenever you want for that. All right. So let's talk about, this is what I was thinking about as the game is coming to an end. I'm not talking about this game yet, but so you have FSU now sitting at 2-4. Okay. They play UMass coming off the bye week. So you're looking at 3-4, and that gets into the meat of their schedule. I'm not going to sit here and jump the gun and say FSU can, make it to a bowl. But you look at the rest of their schedule, and it doesn't seem as arduous and daunting as it seemed at the start of September.
No.
So what are your thoughts? I know you put out on Twitter about a week ago, can this team get to 6-6?
Yeah. Look at it like, okay, the next game is UMass. We get a bye week, which is good. We can get a little bit healthier, get a little bit better, come out of the bye week, get a little bit more momentum, maybe blast UMass. And all of a sudden we're 3-4. We got NC State, BC, Miami, Clemson, and Florida left. And none of those teams are world beaters. They're all beatable. They all have, like North Carolina, they all have some big flaws. So if we can scheme and be able to take advantage of those, that all of them are a winnable game. So can we go 4-2 in those games? Actually, not 4-2. I guess it'd be 3-2 in those games. I don't think it's out of the question. Especially now, like people before, they're not going to win on the road, against BC or anything like that. Maybe they can. They just beat North Carolina on the road in a revenge game for North Carolina, and we took it to them. So, I don't think it's out of the question. I wouldn't necessarily be willing to predict it right now. I'd kind of like to see what they do against UMass and see how this team actually does out of the break, because we've seen this before. Hey, big win, and then we fall flat on our faces. Granted, the last year's North Carolina win felt a lot different than this win feels. Last year we held on by the skin of our teeth, and it never felt really good. That whole second half, but this second half, they took a few shots, but we stopped them and we controlled it, So, we'll see, ask me after UMass, and I might be willing to predict 6-6. And but I also want to see how BC and Miami and those guys handle these next couple weeks as well.